Hello, my name is Pablo. I'm going to be doing my informative speech today. The topic I decided to talk about is the globalization of baseball. This project is for my communications class, and the public I'm sharing it to is my family, which they do not know a lot about baseball, so I feel like it fits the criteria of different cultures very well. First off, I want to start talking about is just giving a quick definition of what globalization is. Globalization, just like a shorter, less formal version of globalization, is anything that is in one part of the world and then that is taken to another part of the world. That can be with anything, food, sports, for example, like baseball, or just like different products. Then talking about baseball, baseball has always been known as America's pastime since it's created in the 18th century in the United States and has been played along U.S. history for so long. You can see a lot of different famous players embedded in the United States history, like Babe Ruth, Mickey Mantle, who not just played baseball for the United States, but also fought in different world wars, which I feel like is a good representation of the history that is embedded into the United States with baseball. And that's why it's known as America's pastime. Now, getting into more formal and 21st century stuff, baseball now has become a world sport. You can see that in big leagues like the MLB, where around 30% of the MLB players are foreign. That's from a lot of different countries, not just a lot of people know, like the Dominican Republic, Cuba, Puerto Rico. You can even see countries like Japan and Southeast Asia being a big part of a lot of different MLB teams and professional baseball. The visual aid I decided to present today is going to be a part of the World Baseball Classic, which is basically the World Cup for baseball. The 30 seconds I've decided to show is basically the introduction of Team Japan in the championship versus Team USA, which you can kind of see the difference between new generation and old generation.
United States does not score. Bottom of the first, no score. Japan comes up for the first time. Lars Nootbaar there, center fielder and leadoff hitter. Kensuke Kondo's had so many good at-bats in this tournament. He bats in front of Shohei Ohtani, Masataka Yoshida bats right behind him. Murakami, the hero last night. Okamoto, Yamada, Kenta, Nakamura. Rounding out the lineup against Merrill Kelly. What an opportunity for the veteran right here.
The reason I decided to show this clip from the World Baseball Classic Championship game is just so you can see, obviously there's a lot of players like Ohtani and Yamamoto that are very well known and that play in Major League Baseball, but a lot of that, almost 90% of that Japanese lineup doesn't play MLB baseball. And I feel like this fits globalization very well in the fact that you can see that even though the team that won the championship is around 90% of its players aren't in the world's best league, which would be the MLB, but it just takes into account how globalized baseball has become with this new with all this new generation of players, not just coming in, but all over the world, where you can see that there's different talent everywhere. Another clip that I feel like is very valuable to show, couldn't find it, but was May 23, 2022. The White Sox whole lineup was international 1 through 9, which also is just a great take on how globalized the game of baseball has become. Now, just to conclude, I feel like baseball has become such a global sport in so many different aspects. A very good way of that is through social media. So many different ways of showing the sport of baseball through social media or YouTube or even like the news has helped the game reach different aspects in different corners of the world that maybe in the 18th or 19th century couldn't have been done before. And I feel like that's amazing just because baseball is a great sport and everyone should be able to play it and enjoy it in every single form of aspect of its way. And not just that, but being able to put all these different cultures together. For example, the World Baseball Classic is a great example of it because you see all these different players from around the world. For example, maybe a continent or country that doesn't play it as much or can't be seen as much like Great Britain, you can see a lot of their players playing against some of the best in the world, or the Czech Republic, where baseball was illegal to play during the 19th century. You can see that now in the 21st century, just playing against each other, playing against the best players in the world and having a fun time. And I just feel like that's what baseball is all about. Thank you.